Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Dexter number C2000 SL-630. This is a spring latch for their C2000 Series locks. This happens to be 2 3/8. As a result, it is 2 1/4 by 1 inch wide. It is a UL listed latch, which would be permissible for use on doors that are fire rated. A latch bolt, a lock set, will require a labeling, not only a listing at the factory that it's been tested, but a label which bears visual evidence of that testing and listing. On the hardware itself, this will have information stamped on the face. The only way to get that UL label there is to have, for this lock to have been tested. The F that's there, if you've looked at locks in your life, you'll see an F stamp, either an uppercase or a lowercase f. If you've got a lowercase f, you have a fire-rated lock. It's just a little bit older. The lowercase f means that the lock has been tested to neutral pressure. The uppercase F means that it has been tested to positive pressure, a more modern means by which to test fire doors to. Visual evidence of it, there's even a label that's here as well. Not all lock manufacturers will put this secondary label on the barrel because it's not required as long as you've got the UL insignia. It's a 2 3/8 backset. Nowhere on here are you going to measure 2 3/8 of an inch. That's the confusing thing to many people. You are going to get to about 1.5 inches if you measure the overall width. That's because this is a cylindrical lock, and this latch enters the edge of the door to the edge of the lock prep. A tubular latch will go from the edge of the door to the center of the lock prep. So where that spindle or tailpiece or whatever the mechanism is, you can measure the backset there. But there is no way to measure that on these because they're cylindrical locks. This stops at the outside corner of the 2 1/8 inch hole. So be mindful. You won't be measuring that anywhere. But this measures about 1.5 inches body length. Okay. Overall height, 2 1/4, as I said earlier. 2 3/8 latch bolts are almost always 1 inch wide, as is this one. I know that there are manufacturers that will do a wider faceplate on a 2 3/8. Very unusual, because where you'll have a wider faceplate, which would be 1 1/8, that always goes with a 2 3/4 backset, or 3 3/4. Okay, or possibly or 5 inch, depending on the lock type. If it's residential, it'll be 1 inch wide. Commercial material, 5 inch, 7 inch, whatever it will be, they'll be 1 1/8 as well. So the fact that it's 1 inch wide is a tip-off that it is likely 2 3/8. Although you can do 1 inch wide in 2 3/4 and 5 inch, etc. 630, that's a reference to the material on the face of this. I don't believe that this is 630. I believe that it is meant to be compatible with a 630, which means solid stainless steel with a brushed finish. I believe that that's a ferrous-based material that's there. But because they make locks that will have a 630 look or trim option, they'll call this 630. And this would be the latch that you would use on your 626, your 646, your anything 630, etc. Satin chrome, satin nickel, satin stainless steel. Let's switch now to the screen view and let's take a closer look at the supporting information. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Here is the item that we are looking at. Extended description information down below. Let's take a look. Allegion's newest product line, Dexter Commercial Hardware, provides over 200 SKUs, or unique items, of grade 1 and grade 2 product options. There's others that Dexter has. They do a lot of residential materials well. It is not in this product group here, but you can do like Schlag's F-Series locks. Dexter has a tubular line of residential locks. Relatively new on the market, even though the name Dexter has been around for decades. Several decades. Grade 2, this is for a grade 2 lock. Likely you would fit it into a grade 1 lock. You could probably make that work, but the lock would then no longer be grade 1. 1 inch by 2 1/4. Now this is a spring latch. I forgot to mention that. It's what we call a unguarded lock. There is no deadlocking tab here, so that when the latch bolt is properly installed, you cannot load or depress the latch when the deadlocking tab is held back. Side view, front on, your UL, ULC, Canada, positive pressure with a capital letter F. More look, a better look at the label, and then the area that the part of the latch bolt that connects to the chassis and the retracting hub. So I neglected to demonstrate the unguarded. I will. One thing that's lacking here that's really important is this following information. This latch throw is 1/2 inch. Okay. If you're doing a fire-rated door, especially if I put my tape measure on, it's actually a bit shy on that, but nonetheless, this would be classified as 1/2 inch. If you're doing fire-rated work and it's a pair of doors, absolutely check what's on the label of the fire door, because it will say the min latch throw. They always do. It's likely the min latch throw would be 3/4 inch, so this is only for 1/2 inch minimum latch throw. Okay. Now, very important, and I'll show that to you if I don't forget. 2 3/8. This will work on passage and privacy because it's unguarded. Anything keyed will have a deadlocking tab. Satin stainless steel. When you buy one, we'll ship you one. Now, these documents that are here, will rifle through them quickly. This is the installation from the entire lock, so I won't beleaguer these points. If you're looking for the latch bolt only, you're probably already in possession of the locks. The holes are drilled and you've realized your latch bolt sticks out too far. Let's take a look at the template, just because it's here. Sure, 2 3/8, 2 3/4. Through bolt holes at 12 and 6, like you would have for a typical Schlage lock. Cross-reference chart is handy. This will allow you to look at this lock. It doesn't. This does not allow you to look at Dexter locks. So this is a handy cross-reference chart if you're looking at Schlage locks. But this is going to be equivalent to the AL series in the sense... AL series, meaning that it's grade 2. But what's funny, this chart doesn't tell us gradings. So a 4600 LN is a grade 2. That we know. 4700 LN will be a grade 1. It would be helpful if there was a grade table here. And, of course, the Dexter information. Product catalog, that would be of some help because it will allow you to look at those 200 SKU numbers. Different options, different items that are available. They make these keyed locks in both all the common functions. Your classroom, your entrance. They have an asylum function, privacy, passage, obviously storeroom, classroom security. Then their grade 2 lock is here. Same concept. Single trim, passage, privacy, entry, office, classroom, storeroom. Different trims, different finishes. Then the parts only, the latches and the strikes. So this is where we're coming up with our C2000 SL 630 passage and privacy. You need the guarded, the DL, deadlocking rather than spring latch, or dead latch or spring latch. Strikes are here. If you're ordering an entire lock, you'll want to specify what latch you want by using the part number of the individual component in the part number of the item so that there's no confusion as to what you need. This catalog will go through and show all of the other parts, typical deadbolts, obviously door closers, likely exit devices are here as well. Yep, there they are. We knew that was coming, etc. So if you like the Dexter name, there's a complement. There's a list of complementary products that go along with it. Now there's a link below this video here to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Dexter products that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation as seen here, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. There's also a residential catalog here as well, and while it's outdated certainly at this point, I find that it's still applicable. We've just done a job where we're supplying a client a large quantity of this Solstice style lever, the SOL. Well, actually, this is the SCP. The SOL is the modern style, and I think the rose has changed. Not a lot of information here, unfortunately, on their residential locks. Let's wrap up this video on camera. Okay, in conclusion now, to show you those two concepts. 1/2-inch latch throw, really important. Really important that you observe the label on the door itself in terms of what that requires. And not that you would use it on this latch, but electric strikes are also very dependent on the projection of the latch bolt. Be mindful that the strike you would use for this lock is not the same that you would use for a mortise lock because of how much the latch projects out from the edge of the door. That's number one. Number two, it's a spring latch. Every time I touch this, I can depress this. If there was a deadlocking tab that I could hold back, you would find that you couldn't depress that. Or Lloyd, stick an instrument in there and flatten that out and get the door to open. Your privacy and your passage doesn't require that at all. In fact, I think that you may not want that. Your privacies don't really require it at all because they're a non-keyed function. They're what's happening on the secure side of the door, of the opening, the inside or whatever it is, opposite the key side, versus the secured side, the side that you're prevented from entering through. If it's important enough to have a key on it, it's important enough to guard that latch, which is why they call it guarded and unguarded. There are applications. I have a client who is involved in, is a contractor for a major military contractor, the only military contractor that does this kind of work for the military, the Navy. And they always order privacy sets with guarded latches. Their application needs those doors to stay in the closed position, and having a guarded latch is what they want. Can't have anything flopping open as the environmental stresses make it such. Anyway, what I like about Dexter is maybe not anything particular to Dexter. It's a garden variety, list of material, which comes from, you can order this from lots of people. But why Dexter? Well, why I like Dexter is because they are under the Allegiant umbrella, and her sister companies will be Schlage, LCN, and Von Duprin, and others, Falcon, Glenn Johnson, Ives, Zero, and others. But what you're getting with Dexter is that world-class technical support that comes along with the name Schlage. That's absolutely why I like them. Just the best. I mean, many people are the best. There's a very high bar set in the industry for tech support. Schlage's not the only one who has good technical support, but theirs is as good as anyone else's. Any questions on the C2000 SL 630 spring latch in 2 3/8 or any other Dexter product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.